Mandaloregaming, everybody, welcome to solo ReacTalk. This afternoon I'm going to be reacting to a video requested by Alpha Shocker. It's called Aliens vs Predator Extinction Review, made on the Mandaloregaming YouTube channel. If you guys want to check out my previous reaction to the other Mandaloregaming gaming review videos, remember the playlist card is going to be at the top right here. Just click on it and be able to access them. If you want to check out the original video as well as Mandaloregaming's YouTube channel, remember the links are going to be in the description below. Yes, guys, it's a double hitter today from Mandaloregaming, requests from Alpha Shocker. I watched Homeworld 3 review made by Mandaloregaming YouTube channel, and if you guys want to check that out, I'll also put the card at the top right there. You'll be able to find it there. So yes, now this is the second one, Alien vs Predator Extinction Review. I've never heard of this game. I know about the Alien vs Predator franchise, the Alien franchise, the Predator franchise in terms of the movies. I've seen, I think, some games pertaining to the Alien franchise, but I've never really taken interest in the Alien vs Predator games, or Alien games, or Predator games, if there's such things like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I haven't really taken interest into them, but this is going to be interesting, hopefully, in terms of Alien vs Predator Extinction. Extinction. Let's just start. 3, 2, 1, go. That looks like an alien, but I don't know what is it dragging. Huh.
With Halloween right around the corner, now's a good time to talk about an Aliens vs Predator game. There have been a few of these over the years, but I think most people know the FPS games now. And they should. They're overall pretty great, and yeah, there were some mistakes here and there, but there was a lot of fun to be had and the multiplayer was excellent. Even if
I don't know anything about these games, including the first-person shooter games. I don't know anything about them. I know the movies. That's it. When it comes to aliens, when it comes to predators, when it comes to Alien vs Predator, I only know the movies. Yeah.
If some barely had maps when they launched. Still, this may come as a surprise if you only know the IP outside of the games. What do I mean? Let me show you. You have the original Aliens vs Predator. It's a fun concept inspired off an Easter egg in Predator 2. But then we have Aliens vs Green Lantern, Superman vs Predator, Batman vs Giant Crocodile Alien.
Really? Nah, this has to be a joke, right?
Aliens vs Superman, Predator vs Batman, Superman and Batman vs Aliens and Predator, Aliens vs Predator vs Judge Dredd, Aliens vs Darkness, one where Predator liaisons Stars War, the Wildcats or something, Predator vs the Midnight Society, and
well, it seems to me that the Alien and Predator franchises are very adaptable in the multiverse of entertainment content. Yeah.
Of course, the most important of all, Alien vs Predator vs Brown vs Board of Education. It's a thrash metal track. So you can safely ignore all that for the games. They take place in the future Alien setting, and Predators are there. That's it. However, Extinction is not a shooter.
Hey, that does not look like an alien or a predator. Looks like a human. Huh.
It's an RTS game. A console-only RTS game, so naturally it doesn't get much attention. The only reason I was aware of it was because I rented it back in the day.
PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2? And it's an RTS game. Wow.
The original plan was to go see the AVP movie, but the theater was far away from where I lived and there was a tornado in the area. I can only hope no one died on the way to see that movie. So instead I went to the local video store and saw it on pure chance. So I bought a snack and rented it for the weekend. And wouldn't you know it, but it's storming again tonight.
It kinda looks like PlayStation 1 type of game. The graphics are not really that good. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a PlayStation 1. Or maybe it is a 2, I'm not sure, but it looks like PlayStation 1.
So things will be just like they were then. That's close enough. Alright, let's get started. I've got to say, for a 2003 RTS game, especially one on console, these character models are impressively detailed.
2003. Yeah, maybe it is PS2. Yes. Okay. Yeah, no, the units do look more. Well, they look better with the graphics, definitely. I think it's just the environment, where they're walking and the buildings that we're seeing. It just doesn't look good.
You might think the powers of emulation
But it's a 2003 game.
are skewing me on that, but no, I looked at it natively too. Textures have tiny details, and all around the units are easily readable. So upping the render resolution does make it pop out more, but the good stuff was always there. Beyond that, there's solid animation work, including sync kills, and Dawn
Man, those aliens are huge.
of War won't be coming out for another year. Upgrading units also makes them change visually. Some are a lot more subtle than others, but it's a great touch.
Wow. I like the user interface for the different factions. We saw one for the Predators, it looked like some sort of orange tint color, and then for the aliens it was green, and then for the soldiers or the Marines or the Commandos, it's blue. That's nice. That's actually quite nice.
I love when games do that, and they really do nail the art style. Captain America and his Oculus Rift would fit right into James Cameron's Aliens, and you can give him a bigger firework launcher. But that fidelity isn't free, especially on a PS2. For one, you don't get that many units per faction. The most you can get are the Xenomorphs with 45, but once you reach it, the game engine starts breaking down a bit. No surprise, this also happens on console. Secondly, outside of precious few exceptions, the levels are incredibly bland. You'll actually be surprised to see plants or buildings or much of anything, and when you
And also, yeah, in terms of the environment, like I said before, it just doesn't look very good compared to the units that are very, good quality graphics on them. But then the rest of the place is just very, it kind of looks like it's isometric, type of game. Yeah. But it's okay. It's okay.
this stuff is ugly for the time period. They had to make sacrifices for the character models, and it really shows. It's not too hard to actually see the seams on the ground. It's not horrible enough to make it AVP checkers, so if you had a bad TV like mine, you might not have noticed it. That said, the level palette is still awful. Every map is either gray or green. Sometimes the game has mercy on you and will slightly tint it red, but that's about it. For reference, one of the big shakeups is playing inside of this laboratory. A staples in AVP Extinction is like Disney World.
Oh, that level definitely looks like an isometric type of game.
So some neat models and animations and horrible everything else, which is remarkably similar to Metal Fatigue, which is actually not that remarkable because it's the same developer. This makes Extinction their second asymmetric RTS game. I wasn't kidding when I said it wouldn't be the last time I talked about them, but we're not getting to Mr. Bones just yet. I'm really scraping the barrel here, but at least Metal Fatigue had snow maps. The intro actually showed a decent amount of snowy areas, but none in the game, unfortunately.
Whoa, those are Predators. They're fighting against the aliens. And the aliens are just coming from a...
Then again, if I...
From a mountaintop. Okay, wow, that's cool.
If I start judging games and their cutscenes, I might as well bully myself. So then we have the sound design. A lot of it is movie authentic, but also very compressed, so your mileage may vary.
What are they ripping apart? I hear some sort of crunching noise. The Predators, oh my gosh.
The thing is, the PC shooters did this too, but the sound effects are much cleaner. And weirdly enough, they share a lot of sounds between them, but for very different purposes. Some are pretty easy to place. So was that Scream from one of the movies? Okay, how about this one?
I cannot recognize any of these sounds.
There's tons of weird examples like this. I'll stop before I get sick. As far as voice acting goes, the mission narration is very clean and well done, but the rest of it is the most, well, you can tell they grabbed whoever was in the office to do some lines.
I've spotted a predator!
There's barely
That will always be cool to me, the fact that you can work in a gaming company and then they can they'll just pick you. They'll be like, yeah, you have the right voice for this particular game that we're developing. Come along.
any voice acting at all, so I do find it kind of charming.
Oh my god!
What's not charming is how the audio is mixed. When battles get big, it's an assault on your ears too, because it does seem fine at first, and then... I've had people ask why I point out things like sound, and this is an example why. Someone can make a great sound effect, but properly layering and triggering them is a skill. This is why audio engineers are one of many unsung heroes for video games.
But I think I'm okay with the sound. I'm not really irritated by it. Or maybe because I haven't played the game, so, you know, I'm only hearing it for at least 10 seconds and I'm okay with that. Maybe if I was playing the game and it went on for hours, then I would get irritated, definitely, probably. But yeah, I think it's just what you should expect in a battle or in a war. You know, it's not very organized in terms of the noises that are being made. It's chaotic noise. You know, creatures or human beings or weapons that they're using, all making noise at the same time, you know, and it's a chaotic mess, chaotic noise. So I think it's a bit realistic. No?
The good sound effect is half the battle, how it's implemented is the other. You don't have to alter the movie sounds too much for an FPS game. There's a lot going on, but not that
What game is this? Oh my gosh. That guy was decapitated.
many. But for an RTS... This is noise. Terrible, terrible noise.
It sounds like... it sounds like that static noise you hear from your TV. You know, like those olden day TVs with the aerials. Yeah, it sounds like like static noise.
The one real saving grace of the audio is the music. There's a good variety and blend of Alien and Predator inspired tracks, and each faction gets about a half an hour of music each.
Oh, that's suspenseful right there.
Copy that.
I don't know, this type of music you should be hearing it in a spaceship, you know? This type of suspenseful music, not out in the open like this. I don't think it really works that well, but okay. This is for the Predators? Okay, okay. It kind of reminds me of the Imakandi from Samurai Jack. Yeah. If you guys know what I'm talking about, then you know. If you don't know, go watch Samurai Jack until you get to the episode of Imakandi. I think it's in season 2 or maybe season 1. Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, they kind of remind me of it with the drums and the, you know, the, what do they call it? The shaker? Yeah. We hunt, brothers. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. Like, this is the main menu. You have the Marine campaign, Predator campaign, Alien campaign, and they're on this mountain, it seems. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's cool.
You have the...
But why is humanity on top? Why are the Marines on top when it's aliens versus predators? It should be the aliens on top, the predators second, of course, and then third to the side would be the Marines. Why are we on top? Actually, it's good. It's good that we're on top. Humanity first.
Predator horns, the alien strings, a great mix. But there is one alien track that sounds like a Captain Beefheart experiment.
It sounds like someone's being strangled.
It's like a seagull being murdered in a haunted house. My brain is screaming that my eyes should be seeing a claymation adventure game and not this. Still, even with the music being good, I can barely stand how this game sounds. It's just clawing my ears out in the same way Fire Warrior did. I've already failed to recapture my youth by emulating the game, so I guess I'll add another treat. Even with the cool units and music, the presentation feels like it's actively attacking me. The lack of map variation and the sound bawling together. It's like you're staring at a mud puddle and your apartment neighbors have kids and they're just screaming at each other at the top of their lungs. So this is bad. But, grading on a curve of all RTS games I've played, this is actually pretty average. So let's move on. Now, having heard all of that, you might think the controls are a vortex of pain too, but they're not. They're actually very well done. The left stick moves the screen, the right stick moves around the minimap and allows you to jump around easily. Yeah, it's still stiff and will never be as fluid as mouse and keyboard, but I didn't find myself fighting the controls all that often. You can make groups with the D-pad and snap to an event with a button.
I just saw the queen laying eggs. Ew.
It's not a micro-intensive game, and there's no base building outside of the alien, and even that's barely base building. So it gets the job done in a simple and elegant way. Now I can finally go through all the factions. First up is the United States Colonial Marine Corps. As per usual, they're out to do company dirty work. They're a mobile force, and each one of their units has a specialized role. The regular infantry is your trusted go-getter. With enough of them, they're good at murdering pretty much anything. There wasn't a single mission where I didn't upgrade them with better armor and grenade launchers. Upgrades affect all current and future units, so it's a good deal. You have facehugger immune flamethrowers, which massacre things up close and are weak to range.
Nice.
Deadly snipers that are the opposite and can be upgraded to shoot through walls.
Nice.
The company androids who carry the iconic motion tracker and also carry everything else. There's more, but you get the idea. You want to tailor your forces to the weakness of the enemy, and you have a lot of options in doing that.
Oh, there's a variety of units that you can choose from. Oh, that's good. That's really, really good. It's not just, warriors or marine soldiers with guns and that's it.
You don't get every unit from the first mission, but they do unlock periodically throughout the campaign. In the missions, their limit is money, and they
You get mech suits as well.
do earn a small amount by killing enemies, but the main source is repairing and securing some atmosphere processors. These give money for a while before expiring. Each map has a few, and a lot of the battles are centered around capturing or holding them. They're never main objectives, but always a worthy target. You actually buy your troops and upgrades through a Comtech unit. He's responsible for keeping the machinery maintained and, on a larger level, all of your people. And the people machinery too, I guess.
So if he dies, you're in trouble. You'll have to create more of those types of units then.
Reinforcing is not an instant process. They get dropped in after a while in a designated landing zone. This can get really hairy. Hold on, exosuits are on the way! So you need to keep your troops alive and make sure your Comtech stay safe. It's always good to have a few. So fights can have some tension knowing that if you're not careful, you might lose your reinforcement supply. You could finish missions without them, but it'll be tricky. Now you could complete missions normally, but there are some bonuses. All missions have a time limit to beat and usually optional objectives. So
I will try my best to make as many of those those mech suits, those exoskeleton mech suits. Yeah, definitely.
one of these won't be revealed until partway through the mission. Trying to accomplish both can make the missions challenging and genuinely fun. The relatively smaller scale and specialized units makes the gameplay feel very tactical. Do you want to avoid androids for more firepower? Better hope they don't have invisible boys. Are the xenomorphs sending your troops into a coma to drag them off into the hive? Well, the doctor is in.
Yeah, just put him out of his misery before that burster comes out.
No mistake, this is a difficult game, especially if you go for the optional time and mission objectives. Your main goals are the standard RTS fare with nothing really unique or out there, which is disappointing for the setting. But despite everything, I was having fun with it, especially when I rediscovered my love for the exosuits. It wouldn't be until I divined cybermancy that their fire rate was surpassed.
It's taking an awful long time just to kill one predator.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I meant the upgrade. So the lesson is you can drown out obnoxious sound effects if you fill the air with Bert. Unlocking them is powerful for morale. That said, this is the same mission where you hit the difficulty cliff. It's the second to last mission, but man, things get hard. You fight every other faction in the game, including humans, and they're all teamed up against you somehow. You crawl through a hell dungeon to get to the top of a big map, and there's no money up there, so it's an endurance round. You have to keep taking down Predator anti-aircraft guns, which sounds easy, right? Well, not when you attack them and they reveal more and more turrets around them. And you have no money. Also, I didn't mention it yet, but the biggest problem the gameplay here has is pathfinding. That's one of the chief elements you don't want going wrong in an RTS game. You click your army somewhere and most will go, but some will just wander off. Or they'll get bunched up in a tight area and start freaking out. You just want them to go up and a bunch of guys just run off into the hallways.
These guys are inexperienced. Some of them are on strike. Very, very difficult to make sure that your army has this cohesion so that you can finish the game. Yeah, no. That's really going to be a problem. Pathfinding.
Where are they going? Do they know how dangerous it is out there alone? So the more complex the map, the more likely this happens. Doing this in the time limit and with the bonus objective is absolute hell. But if I don't do that, then I don't get the special mission medal. What am I supposed to do, just not get it?
Yeah. Unless if there's some sort of advantage to it, I guess.
So after several tries, I finally do it. 3 minutes to spare. You may be wondering why I'm not talking about the story. Well, it's told in these screens before the missions, and that's it. There are precious few in-game reveals and nothing really noteworthy. I do like this artwork though. So, spoiler warning, here's the ending for the Marine campaign.
What was that, a self-destruct?
No cutscene, no screen, not even a you win, it's done. But what if you get all the medals? Sorry, but no, you just unlock cheats. Maybe something happens if I get them for every faction. Surely, right? So it was
Nah, you're just gonna get cheats, that's it.
buggy and loud, but I had a surprisingly okay time with the Marine campaign. For some reason I don't remember much of the Predator one, so I guess I'll find out why. We start off next to lava water straight from Oblivion. I'm not sure what it means yet. The Predators are a smaller but more elite force. For one, most of their units can cloak, which is governed by an energy meter. The cloaks have gotten better since the movies since they now work in water. This meter can also be used to heal them at any time. And thanks to the movie The Predator, we can now speculate on whether or not they're shooting up autism. The Shrine is their base unit. Unlike the Marine Comtech, they can only get one, and when it's gone, it's gone.
It's moving. Usually they would stay in one position, while in other RTS games, you know, for instance, your town, your fortress, they would literally be stuck in one place. But here, it seems that this shrine is able to move around. Huh.
It is tanky and has heat death rays, so that does make up for it. It also comes with near instant reinforcement. Now pair that with vision upgrades. These let you see enemies inside the fog of war and still blast them. And if you do this while cloaked, the AI does not react to the attack at all.
Nice.
This will make them easy prey, and instead of money, you get honor points. You earn a few from kills, but much more from taking trophies. The deadlier the prey, the higher the payout. So you could go and
So they're busy decapitating heads there. Okay, wow.
mass murder harmless space cows, but there won't be much for it. It's all simple and the roster looks powerful. The first mission is a breeze, so time for the second. Kill 5 units and take their trophies. Easy enough. What
Trophies meaning heads.
the fuck? Why are there so many? It's the second mission.
Everybody hates the predators. The aliens. The humans.
It's just the second mission. After several tries, I barely make it in time. 7 seconds to spare. Maybe it's like Marine 6 and this one will be easier. You know, I got over the difficulty hump.
This is not good.
I'm supposed to hunt animals in this mission. What's happening? The challenge spike is huge for so soon, and I'm only playing on medium. I even knocked it down to easy to check and the swarm still came. What's
Like I said, everybody hates the predators. They're just not nice people.
worse is like the Marine campaign, you fight human and predator enemies, but they don't fight each other. Actually, it sure looks like they're working together to screw me over.
Exactly, because nobody likes the predators.
There's no story reason for this. I've played missions where the enemies do fight each other. So why do these ones have teamwork and absurd numbers of enemies? The mission right after this is a fairly easy sneaking mission, and after that you unlock military predators, which are absurdly powerful. In a way, the predator in the movie was just
Whoa, they look like they're wearing power armor. Like Astartes or something. Wow.
the redneck shooting some deer. So what do these guys bring? Apparently artillery range auto-targeting cluster missiles. Also the sweeping heat beams of death. These
I guess the plasma weapon is obsolete.
are all upgradable too, so after this point the campaign is kind of a joke. It is mindless, but it's mindless fun, to the point that the last mission has an optional objective that's just don't use them. It's like the progression balance is at random. After much suffering, I did unlock cheats, and I wanted to see what the deal with mission 3 was. One lets you spy on the enemy, and there's not many here. Then, someone walks far enough to trigger it. The minimap starts exploding with new signatures. I've seen tons of RTS games cheat resources or build speed, but this is something else. This Marine horde is far
That is scary. It's an entire army.
Past their population count. But that's still not enough because they're still being spawned in the conventional way. I'm starting to truly realize why I never got far into the Predator campaign. Was this to artificially make the game longer? To combat renting it? Wouldn't these fights horribly lag out of PS2? I feel like my soul won't be at rest until I have answers. The progression is so busted and weird that it's all I think about whenever I think back to the Predator missions. The roster is cool, but the experience is either brain dead easy or madness hard. When I played without military guys, it did bring things back to sanity, but there's no salvaging the earlier stuff. It's not the worst Predator game thing I've played. There were fun unit combinations and tactics to pull off. The situations you're put in though, it's just a mess. When it comes down to it, I'd still rather play this than see the Predator ever again. It was just a strange experience overall, but the artwork is still good. Okay, one last faction.
Now is the time to breed and grow and dominate.
No, don't say that.
Xenomorph friends play very differently than the rest. They're melee focused and have superior numbers, without cheating. The aliens gain currency by downing their enemies in combat, and that's it.
I don't see any facehuggers. Where are the facehuggers?
Reason for that is that they don't use currency as much as the other species. They can't just buy more units to spawn in. Instead, the Hive Queen needs to start laying eggs. Then your unconscious victims
Ew.
can be dragged in and impregnated. You go through the facehugger, the chest burster, the cocoon, it's a whole process. The ideal scenario is having a constant drag parade. The more bodies you bring in,
Haha. Drag parade.
the more Xenos you hatch. So that's already radically different, but there are more nuances to it. For one, the kind of alien you get depends on the host body. Animals can make drones or runners, humans can make warriors, predators make pred aliens, you get the idea.
Man, but that is so weird. The fact that you're just dragging all of these life forms, you know, humans, the wildlife, the predators, you just drag all the way to the queen.
However, you can take it even farther through upgrades. How about the drone? Well, they're given an acid that makes the host bodies more ideal for gestation. So if you bring them along for your victim hunting parties, you'll spawn more powerful variants of the aliens. Of course, you could just hatch the eggs and send the facehuggers out, but that's not always a good idea.
Why?
They're incredibly vulnerable to every weapon, and some enemies are near impossible or straight up impossible to facehug when they're alive.
Then make a lot of them, like an entire army of facehuggers. Maybe that can help.
Plus, when they're outside your hive infestation, their health is always going down. So you can make it work, but you'll likely lose a few. This makes having your drones tidy up and build a nice home an advantage. It's a safe place for facehuggers to play, and it also heals all your units up. And
Facehuggers playing. Oh my gosh.
I mean dramatically heal them up. Check out Lieutenant Dan here. Looks to me like he's ready to go back to the jungle. To make it even better, if anything even touches your infestation, you'll know where they are for a long time. In conclusion, a Xenomorph hive is prime real estate. Remember, you can always move if a new lot opens up. You also have the option of going for a pure strain of the parasite. These are the Praetorians, and morphing a regular egg into one of theirs does cost money, but no matter what host you have, you always get a Praetorian alien. From here it can morph into a queen if your hive is missing one, or two other strains. There's the Ravager, which is just a brick shithouse of power.
So it's not game over if your queen dies.
It's incredibly deadly, but unlike other aliens, it kills its enemies outright. No face means no face hugging. On the opposite end, you can make a hive-supporting carrier. This one ferries facehuggers around like a horrible camel spider. If anyone gets too close, it'll chuck a facehugger at them. So yeah, the aliens have a lot going on. Their campaign definitely has some harder levels, but nothing like the Predator one. It's unique and genuinely like nothing else I've played in an RTS. Well, the majority of missions...
I mean, imagine we saw these creatures in the movies. Especially that one that carries facehuggers on its back. Oh gosh.
Are still mainly your standard RTS fare, they do venture out a little bit. It challenges you to master the life cycle and pick out the right hosts and aliens for the job. There's still not much going on in the story. It mainly revolves around you fighting, premium currency aliens that Weyland-Yutani is making. I'm not kidding, they just have gold skins. Extinction is really a fever dream sometimes. Eagle-eyed RTS veterans may have noticed the problem already. Aliens are a melee-focused horde faction with a complicated life cycle. So let's see how long a new unit takes in the best possible conditions where everything is already set up.
It kind of takes long. The entire process of laying the egg, the facehugger comes out, it attaches itself to a host, and then the burster comes out. Yeah, it's a long process.
Still cooking. Okay, nearly half a minute. That seems like would be a detriment, but you can upgrade eggs to have 2 or 3 or 4 facehuggers in them, and the facehuggers themselves.
2 or 3 or 4 facehuggers in one egg? Hey.
Selves can eventually put 2 embryos in certain hosts. So what if you lose a battle and just have nothing but the queen? Well, she's the queen. If she sees a problem, she could just get right up and slap the shit out of it. Vengefully. She is a mother, but also a career woman. And her career is Ubering anyone and anything into the next life. That could explain the cult. So no, that's not an issue. The real issue is their actual combat gameplay. You're all about numbers and melee and can only influence this through a controller, so your gameplay is going to be very blobby.
I am the swarm.
Sure, you can control group them to separate them out or avoid AoE weapons, but there's not a whole lot to it. It is fun being a swarm, and there's enjoyment in managing the hive and hatching all these different alien types, but the combat itself, you really can't go wrong just making a murder ball. It could get stuck because the pathfinding is still terrible, but you knew that. I truly do think there's something to this life cycle idea. Even outside of an RTS game like an alien hive management game or something. I think I'd love playing that. Back on track, I got all the medals, and no, there's no secret ending or screen or anything. It's only the same cheats as always. I can accept that the campaigns had terrible, terrible moments. Entire stretches of them stacked on top of each other. The thing is, with the asymmetrical gameplay and all the different units, there's a lot of hope for skirmish. Maybe military predators are more expensive there or something. If there was system link, I could see this being a great time in multiplayer. Well, trick or treat, there's none of that. There is a lot of lore to read up on, but no more game. This was disappointing back then, but even more so now because I know they made Metal Fatigue. Sure, that did have a lot of issues, but it also had everything you'd expect in an RTS. I get the sense this game was rushed out far before the vision was completed. Elements like so much voice acting sounding like placeholder when I know they've done better, missions just having a number with no real ending, I just have this nagging feeling about it. What's even stranger is you think this game might have been rushed out for the movie, but no, the movie wasn't even in production when the game came out. They crunched on that movie trying to get Freddy vs. Jason money. I can't really recommend it, it's not like some hidden console gem you need in your collection. There are monumentally better AVP games and RTS games, but this is a fascinating little title. I would love to know more about it because I could barely find a thing. Back when I did the Return of the King video, I actually had one of the animators reach out to me. I never thoroughly combed his brain or anything, but only talking to him for a bit gave me more insight on that game and the Third Age, and I felt
Man, this dwarf can dance.
a little bit more at peace, I guess. But those were games I loved playing. This was one I liked playing and sometimes hated playing. Even back then, I remember the feeling of it being like a weird dream I was having. This was a monkey's paw wish for me. I can only lament that the game wasn't made for PC. Beyond the obvious control issues, there could have been fan patches or mods or who knows. It is appropriate to start October with something that haunts me to this day. To its credit, Extinction never screamed ODST at me over and over, so I guess there's that. More to come soon. Something scarier.
I'll get some backup.
It might not have been the AVP game people expected, but maybe some deserved it. I don't know what all you get up to. Do RTS games have a place on console, and which one do I think has the best controls? They do have a place there, some sell well. The controls in Extinction are solid, but I'd have to say Pikmin, but if we meant like a traditional RTS game, probably Halo Wars. Do you have media you come back to every Halloween? For games, Dead Space, but for movies and TV, I have too many. Might need to make a list somewhere.
I don't do that, you know. I don't repeat movies for specific, you know, vacation time or holiday time or yeah, I just don't do that. I just watch whatever I want to watch when I feel like I need to watch it at that very moment. But I don't do repeats in that fashion. You know, on a holiday, I watch this. No.
What are my expectations for Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2? I was uncertain at the announcement, but with all the recent news, now they're pretty low. I'll be glad if it turns out really good though. What are your expectations for Warhammer The Old World? If they put things back, it'll be fine. If they do a prequel, that could be a disaster. Pulse rifle or smart gun? I do think the pulse rifle's cooler, but if I was in the situation, I'd want a smart gun. It basically auto-aims for me, and in reality, I'd probably kill myself with a grenade launcher. Shrapnel is a fast little friend, and you never know when he's visiting. Okay, more October stuff soon.
Okay, that was a nice and short game review for Alien vs Predator Extinction. Review made on the Mandaloregaming YouTube channel and requested by Alpha Shocker. Yeah, the game is different. It's interesting. It's an isometric, you know, type of RTS game. You know, containing not only the predators and the aliens, but also the marines. And yeah, you know, the different factions all have different variations of units that have got all unique strengths and abilities and weaknesses, and that's very, very good. That's actually very nice. The different units are also extremely detailed. Unlike the landscape and the environment, it looks very, bland. But yeah, definitely, this game looks like it was fun in 2003. In 2003, this game was fun. This game was really fun. But I'm quite surprised that I never heard of it for PlayStation 2. Yeah, maybe it never reached my town in South Africa. Yeah, maybe the game never reached this side. But yeah, it's quite interesting that there was Alien vs Predator type of RTS game available. And yeah, it's good. Maybe they should do something like this again in our time period right now, 2024. Yeah, they should probably do another Alien vs Predator versus the Marines game. They should really do something like that. I mean, we've just had what is it again, Alien Requiem. So yeah, why not? Thank you again to Mandaloregaming for making this video based on the Alien vs Predator Extinction. Why can't I say this word properly? Extinction. Yes, Extinction game. Thank you also to Alpha Shocker for requesting that I should react to this video. It's been good. And guys, that's it for the double hitter from Mandaloregaming. Remember, if you want to check out the original video as well as Mandaloregaming's YouTube channel, the links are going to be in the description below. If you like my reaction, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay? Bye-bye.